Did you pay attention to the gospel? How sweet sounding it was, right? Love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. Do we do all that? If you do all that, I don't have to preach. I can close my homily. This is a monumental challenge today Jesus puts forth to us. Luke, in his version of the Mount Sermon that Matthew proposes, it's called Sermon on the Mount. For Luke, it's Sermon on the Plains, and it's the most challenging one. The one who believes is called to live differently. Do you believe that? We have to live a different kind of life than the secular world would live. Jesus is ultimately teaching us the mystery of the cross, because it's the ultimate act of love for one's enemy that is seen on Mount Calvary. It's a radical love. It's counterintuitive. It's not irrational, but it's supernatural, because it has to be a gift from God. And therefore we are called to live a loftier, more magnanimous kind of life. There is obviously distinction between natural virtues versus virtues of a disciple of Jesus. Natural virtue, it's easy. It's easy to love those who love you. Those who are kind to you, you are kind to them. Those who invite you, you invite them back. It's normal. It's easy. Even the most wicked people on earth have friends to whom they are very good. That does not make them holy, but it's natural. Somebody is good to you, you are good to them. If you are doing only that, there is no point in being a Christian. You have to rise above that. And that's the challenge that Jesus proposes to us today. If we can do that, if we can love our enemies and pray for those who persecute us, if we can avoid judging and condemning, if we can be compassionate and give generously as God is, then we participate in the divine life. If we can start to see a wave of God's love being shared throughout our world, from one person to the other, then there will be a change in the world. Of course, God keeps on telling it's God's way is not the same as human way of viewing things. You know, I'm particularly drawn to the fact that God is inviting us to forgive our enemies, which is very challenging. Let me propose to you one story and see how challenging it is. It's a story told to us by Debbie Morris in her book, Forgiving the Dead Man Walking. At the age of 16, Debbie and her boyfriend were kidnapped by two men, and over a period of 36 hours, they tortured them and finally shot her boyfriend, leaving him for dead. Then they raped her repeatedly before finally letting her go. For Debbie, there was nothing harder than forgiveness, but nothing more urgent. She says, within quotes, the unforgiveness that I was holding on to, the hate, the anger, was destroying my life. I was continuing to let these men have control over me. I was continuing to let myself be victimized because I was hanging on to the hate. I was unwilling to forgive. Close quote. But initially, she thought, justice would bring her healing. What would justice mean? In this case, she was waiting for them to be captured, to be tried, the guilty verdict to be pronounced, and finally, one of them got executed. Did it bring her healing? No. Justice was not what healed Debbie. She said, when I was able to forgive, not only did the hate, anger, and pain go away, but the shame did too. When I chose to forgive, there was a prisoner that was set free, and that prisoner was myself. So today's gospel is a call for a change of heart, a new way of thinking, a new way of living. I would like you now to look at a picture that was sent in one of the communications. Look at this picture. What does it tell you? It has a big story to tell us. We will not know until that story is told, but looking at the picture, you see some people sitting in the stadium. But there was a message that was written by a lady that goes like this. Dear stranger next to us at the rodeo, when my son came up to you and grabbed your arm and you did not know, he used to be terrified of people. When he talked to you about the bulls, you didn't know he was diagnosed with a language disorder. When he jumped in your lap and laughed as you tickled him, you didn't know he had a sensory processing disorder. You also didn't know, as his mother, I sat in my seat with tears running down my face, sneaking his photo. When we adopted him a few short months ago, we didn't know how long it would take for him to laugh, play, and engage others like this. You didn't know any of this, but you took time to connect with a child who has had to fight to learn to connect. My heart is full. Thank you. Now you see this picture. A stranger treating that child the way he treated. Currently they say, Florida reports that 1 in 21 people are autistic. Autism is often called the invisible disorder. Many autistics are sensitive to various stimuli. I wrote to you about this in my communication in February. I am in great admiration of parents whose children have challenges, and their commitment to their children is amazing. It's godlike. It's just sacrificial. So we would like to offer a sensory-friendly Mass for those children that are challenged. It will be held next Sunday at 1 p.m. in the hall, where there will be a different kind of setting. There will be not many powerful lights, no music, very gentle sound, and then a short Mass where they will be able to move around and do whatever they want to do, kind of thing. So if you have a child, or if you know somebody whose child is of that nature, please tell them to come next Sunday. Once again, we are called to live differently because we believe. And now, you thought I forgot something. No, I have Mike Moss to come and reinforce that message.
Good morning. I'm Mike Moss, president of St. John's Parish Council. Some might recognize my wife, Kathy, and I from the parish ministries we participated in or from our ushering at some of the Masses. We are proud to be members of the parish and believe that the St. John's community has been a strong spiritual influence in our lives. St. John's is such a generous community that always comes through to support those affected by natural disasters via special collections, doing things like the Children's Hunger Project packing events, donating food and clothing to the poor, and various other special collections. Your generosity is overwhelming and truly appreciated. I'm here today to request your support for our Catholic appeal. Last week, Bishop Noonan's video illustrated how the diocese funded by the Catholic appeal supports our parish as well as other parishes within the diocese. Kathy and I were raised in an underprivileged area. Our parents enrolled us in catechism classes at our local church to ensure that we made our sacraments. I never gave much thought to where those resources came from to support my religious education, and now realize that without the support of our local diocese, our early Catholic roots may not have taken hold. Last fall, Kathy and I were blessed to attend an event for Magnify, a diocese-supported program to help those with special needs and disabilities flourish. We met many adults from the Bishop Grady Villas in St. Cloud. As relatives of a special needs adult, we were filled with hope seeing the immense joy and camaraderie amongst the Bishop Grady residents. Our church extends far beyond our parish walls, and each week at Mass we recite the Creed, reaffirming that we believe in one holy, Catholic, and Apostolic Church. The church beyond our parish needs resources to operate. Bishops and the Catholic Church are successors to the apostles. Our parish is part of the Diocese of Orlando, led by Bishop Noonan. Our diocese uses the Catholic appeal to fund operations and ministries within the diocese. At St. John's, we do a great job contributing funds to the Catholic appeal. I'm confident that we'll meet our funding goal in 2025. This year, we would like to see parish participation in our Catholic appeal to be over 70% for the parish. This would require those who have contributed generously in the past to do so again, and some of those who have not contributed in the past to do so. No contribution is too small, and each contribution demonstrates that we realize we are members of one holy, Catholic, and Apostolic Church. There are multiple ways to submit your support, and pledging is easy. Some of you may have already received your pledge information in the mail. You can also submit your pledge today by using the usher-provided envelopes from last week, or taking one of the envelopes available to you in the pews right now. You can drop your envelope in the mail, in the collection box, or at the parish office. It's simple and convenient. You can pledge just as easy online at our catholicappeal.com, or even faster now by using your phone and scanning the QR code on the flap of the Catholic Appeal envelope in your pew. You can also take the bulletin home, and when you leave, scan the QR code at your convenience. You can pay by credit or debit card. We thank those who have already sent their pledge in. Please keep the efforts of our Catholic appeal in your prayers. Let's get St. John's to over 70% participation this year. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mike, for your passion and for your involvement in our parish. I'm not saying this. Today's gospel says, give and gifts will be given to you, a good measure, packed together, shaken down, overflowing, will be poured into your lap. I don't have to say anything more. Thank you.